American workers built tanks and planes and vehicles that helped defeat the global threat of fascism in World War II. They built what became known as the arsenal of democracy. Now, a new generation of American men and women, working with today's latest technology, is going to build a new arsenal to defeat the current enemy of world peace, health, and stability, COVID-19. Albert was gracious enough to welcome me to Kalamazoo plant back in February. It's incredible, the ingenuity, the care, the safety that goes into every single dose as I toured the entire plant. Most of all, when you're there, you feel the pride of every worker there feels, how the pride they feel in what they're doing. I've been to a lot of plants. I've worked, I'm a big union guy. I've been doing it my whole career. But you could see the looks on their faces. They were proud. I mean it sincerely, they were proud of what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. American workers will now produce vaccines to save lives of people in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. People they will never meet and have never met. Places they've never visited and probably won't have an opportunity to. But lives saved all the same, thanks to American leadership, American workers, hard work, and values. Let me close with this. This is a monumental commitment by the American people. As I said, we're a nation full of people who step up at times of need to help our fellow human beings, both at home and abroad. We're not perfect, but we step up. Well, we're not alone in this endeavor. That's the point I want to make. We're going to help lead the world out of this pandemic, working alongside our global partners. Under the UK chairmanship of the G7, democracies of the world are posed to deliver as well. This U.S. contribution is the foundation for additional coordinated efforts to help vaccinate the world. The British government, the Prime Minister, has led a strong campaign to get people vaccinated across the UK. And I'm grateful they're making their own generous donation. Tomorrow, the G7 nations will be announcing the full scope of our commitment, our meaning the G7. And I want to thank all of my G7 partners for stepping up to recognize our responsibility to meet the moment. I'm looking forward to working with my counterparts on these efforts in the coming days and much more. One final point I want to make clear. This is not the end of our efforts to fight COVID-19 or vaccinate the world. We have to turn manufactured doses into shots in arms to protect people and communities. That's why the United States is already providing hundreds of millions in funding to support last-minute vaccination efforts, including new funding from Congress as part of the American Rescue Plan, and working with programs in Latin America, Asia, and Africa. We're going to keep manufacturing doses, donating doses, getting jabs, as they say here in the UK, in arms, until the world has beaten this virus. I want to thank you all. Now I'd like to turn it over to my friend, the CEO and Chairman of Pfizer, Albert Bourla. Albert, it's all yours. And again, personally, thank you for stepping up.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you
very much. Thank you, Mr. President, and it is, of course, a great honor to be with you today for this historic announcement. As the G7 countries come together for this critical summit, the eyes of the world are on the leaders of these powerful nations to help solve the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. While great progress has been made in many developed nations, the world is now asking the G7 leaders to shoulder the responsibility to help vaccinate people in all countries. Mr. President, I know from our conversations that we agree that every man, woman, and child on the planet, regardless of financial condition, race, religion, or geography, deserve access to life-saving COVID-19 vaccines. And once again, the United States has answered the call. And we are grateful to you and your administration for your leadership in this front. Today, we are providing 500 million doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine to the world's poorest nations. This will significantly enhance our ability to meet our goal of providing 2 billion doses of the vaccine to low and middle-income countries over the next 18 months. Thanks to the ingenuity of so many scientists and the dedication of so many manufacturing workers, today we can see clearly the light at the end of the tunnel. But we still have work to do. And I can assure you, Mr. President, that we will be relentless in pursuing more solutions to end the pandemic. Just this week, we began dosing participants aged 5 to 11 years old in a global phase 2-3 study. And as we speak, we continue our studies in pregnant women. We are also closely monitoring and addressing the emerging variants. We are testing our vaccine's response to newly arising variants, and we are coordinating with public health authorities around the world on surveillance efforts. So far, data show that none of the existing variant strains has escaped the protection provided by our vaccine. I repeat, none, not one. Still, we have built a process to develop within 100 days a new vaccine if needed, God forbid. Our scientists are also pursuing an oral treatment against COVID-19. Initial indications are promising, and if things go well, we could apply for approval before the end of this year. But I wanted to finish by coming back to the importance of your announcement today, Mr. President. In a pandemic, everyone is only as protected as their neighbors down the street, as well as their global neighbors around the world. Today's announcement with the U.S. government gets us closer to our goal and significantly enhances our ability to save even more lives across the globe. Mr. President, I want to thank you for your leadership, vision, and partnership. We look forward to continue to work with your administration to ensure that science wins the battle against COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, do you believe your meeting with Putin can change his behavior in a way sanctions have not yet?
Mr. President, did you warn Prime Minister Johnson that a trade deal with the U.S.-UK would be at risk if the party agreement is
Thank you very much. Oh, I would have missed it.